Brooklyn Independent Television.
Excitement is that there's so many ways to approach blending and creating hybrids. I'm thinking about how do you take the rigid form of Indian classical dance and create space within that. That's why the piece is called Make Space. I was thinking about a concept that Trisha Brown uses, which she's a postmodernist choreographer, and she takes this idea of having a box around you that's on the floor and it extends up here, and all the movement references different points on the box, the imaginary box. So each of the dancers has a box in their head that they're referencing with each movement. Because I think if this is front, the poking is behind you. So then the poking is on this angle for you. I just thought that was fascinating. I mean, if you take the movements of Indian classical dance and think about that, think about it from an architectural standpoint like that, how many different options do you have? I started training in Indian classical dance when I was really young, like 5, and I actually really hated it. So I always wanted to not do it, but my mom kind of put me in lessons. But what was interesting was in high school, again, my mom told me to take jazz, and I tried it, and for some reason that really clicked for me, American jazz dance. That awakening made me look back at Indian classical dance and see how fantastic it is, how stories are encoded in the body, in the movement. Jazz represents a certain aspect of Americanness, and Indian dance represented a different part of me. Eventually in college, I was like, I think I need to mix them to really express our generation, our community, our immigrant experience. With modern and contemporary dance, you're really thinking about how something is initiated in the body. Where does it start? Like from here, spine, elbows, gesture. Whereas in Indian classical dance, you're just thinking about the picture. Get to the place in a rhythmic time, right? You want to be here on rhythm. 2 diagonal, 4, 5, 6, 7, arrive. 1, 2, 3. A lot of times modern dancers are really flexible and they can move in a big way, but they don't know how to tighten the movement. So I try to take, I'll take, like in ballet we have demi-plie and grand plie, right? So then what I've been trying to do is put the gestural element, the sculptural element on top of that. After she lifts him is when you should start moving your heads so that by the time they get here, you're ready, you have enough energy to stand up. And then one of the most beautiful things about the way that contemporary, postmodern, modern, whatever you want to call it, dance is generated is in the studio with the dancers. So I started with the notion of the song. The song is a tumri, and the singer says, "Piya to manata nahi," my beloved will not be appeased. So there's this idea of a dissatisfied lover, and it's gender neutral. So it doesn't specify he, she, and I'm really interested in that. So I wanted to make a duet between 2 women. I come to the table not with a sequence of movement. I come to the table with some idea of improvisation. So can you start back to back and find yourself facing one another? It's very like, oh, okay, well, wow, you came up with that. Let's go from there to something else. And you can't predict it, which to me, coming from an Indian classical background, is one of the most scary and exciting aspects of delving into modern dance. You're really making it with them. The Mughal court is where this music was fostered, and there are 2 really interesting progressive things about that historical period. One, some of the rulers really supported both Hindu and Muslim artists. So it's a blend of Hindu and Muslim culture. I want to bring that out. And the other aspect is that a lot of that poetry, some of it is written from a man's perspective to another man, and vice versa, women for women. Or it's neutral. I saw a lot of choreographers, African American choreographers, who were taking the framework of modern dance or postmodern dance and bringing various cultural idioms to that framework and blending form. And I thought, oh, okay, so I can do this. Like I thought, oh no, that would be sacrilegious to mess with Bharatanatyam. But then the music was changing, DJ Rekha was spinning, and black choreographers were mixing all over the place. So I was like, well, why can't I do it?
Become a fan on Facebook. Like Brooklyn Independent Television.